Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Deal podcast. Not the Real D&D podcast, because that is something else that I host. Today, I'm on screen, which means Taylor Swift time. So, let's get into 1989, Taylor's version.
Yay.
So, I think my biggest hot take, which isn't a very hot take, is that I didn't like that it was very Midnights-esque and not very 1989, because it was very clearly produced by Jack Antonoff.
Yeah.
And I love Jack, don't get me wrong, love him. I just think it's 1989, and it needs to sound like 1989 and not Midnights.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I even thought that a little bit for Speak Now, Taylor's version.
Yeah.
I was like, I understand that they were written at the time and they weren't like recorded and produced at the time.
Yeah.
So she's going into it with like her mindset now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I feel like the Red Vault tracks sound like Red.
Yeah.
They fit on Red. Fearless, there were some Fearless Vault tracks that I didn't even know they were Vault tracks when I first heard them.
Right.
But these ones I'm like, this could be on Midnights. Like Midnights' first version of the album Midnights could be on. So I agree.
No, I agree. I think that with the re-recordings, the fans are kind of expecting the re-recordings to at least be similar to what the sound originally was, and that's not the approach that Taylor's taking, which is fine. She can do her. I love her no matter what. I just wish 1989 was a little bit more 1989, and also I wish some of the songs that were like I like Blank Space.
Yeah.
I think needed to sound more Blank Space and not Kids Bop.
Yeah.
Because I think a few of her songs in 1989 sounded better in the original, and I don't want that to be the case.
Right.
I also was really expecting like Blank Space Rock edition.
Yeah.
I think that would have been amazing.
She is so talented on guitar and electric guitar. Like the rock cover of, well, it's not a cover, it's her own song. We Are Never Getting Back Together.
Yeah.
And Trouble.
Yeah.
I feel like she has intentions for the connotation of the song that don't translate until she gets an electric guitar in her hands.
Yeah.
Like I Knew You Were Trouble never sounded angry until I heard it on the electric guitar, and I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So I really wish Blank Space, even like Style, or like if you've heard the cover of Blank Space by I Prevail, like there is a rock version out there of that song, and it sounds so fun and cool. So I agree. Style. What are your thoughts on the new Style?
Oh my gosh, I genuinely 100% thought we were getting Style featuring Harry Styles.
Yeah.
I really thought that.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed when that didn't happen. I was disappointed that there were no features at all in 1989.
I saw that too, and I saw the first time the back of the album was like released, and I was like, no features?
Yeah.
Like I feel like the whole point, people look at the Taylor's versions and they're like, who's going to be featured? Like that's always a topic of discussion, so I was really surprised about that.
At least I thought if there was going to be an album with no features, I thought it would be Speak Now, because that's her entire.
It's her self-written album, yeah.
Entirely self-written. That would be the one that makes sense. But it 1989 not having any features.
Yeah.
And also, I really thought we were getting another thing, like a music video.
Yeah.
Or anything. Like I stayed up till 3 a.m. because Taylor's been doing that lately, and nothing happened.
Nothing. I wonder if she'll eventually do something. I don't know. The features was especially surprising since like Fall Out Boy was on Speak Now.
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy I think would be a lot more fun on 1989, especially because like Fall Out Boy, obviously Fall Out Boy is like more of like they try to be more of, well, I guess their fandom. I will say the fans of Fall Out Boy are more of like the emo type.
Yep. Yeah.
But they still have a more really pop side to them, especially the like modern Fall Out Boy that was around when Taylor wrote 1989 the first time. So, yeah.
I think that also she did release 1989 featuring Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
But like obviously that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't count that as like because it's not on the.
No, it was like a whole.
It's just a
it was
separate. It's
the
just a
deluxe
separate thing.
Yeah.
It's just like to appease the fans.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I love 1989, and listening to it makes me really happy, and I love all the Volt tracks.
Yeah.
I was just disappointed a little bit about the intensity of it wasn't as big.
Yeah. And, like, I can empathize with the fact that she's been doing this re-record thing for a long time. And she's
still got 2 more.
She's ready to be done with it, like, because as she said in interviews before, she's like, this is more of a passion project. I wasn't expecting this to blow up the way that it did. So she probably thought originally that these re-records were going to release and it was going to get some traction, but not
a lot, yeah.
And so now that people are expecting these whole, like, fully done productions of these re-records, she's like, come on, like, I'm ready to go.
I think the part that's shocking the most is the no music video aspect.
Yeah.
Because there's been multiple music videos for everything else.
And 1989 is, like, famous for its music videos. Like, the Blank Space music video for a while was one of the most, like, viewed YouTube videos. And Out of the Woods is a very iconic music video as well. Oh, my gosh. So I was surprised there wasn't any sort of, like, callback to that at all. Because it was so, like, the Blank Space, I didn't even really listen to Taylor Swift. I had a wave of Taylor Swift, like, when I was really little, I liked her a lot.
Yeah.
And now I do, but in that time period, I didn't like her so much, but I loved Blank Space. And I loved the music video, so it was, like, even people who didn't like Taylor Swift were, like, watching the video and thinking that it was really good.
Yeah.
So not even a little callback.
Even if you don't like Taylor Swift, you got to admit that her music videos are really good.
They're done very well.
They're just so good.
She looks good. And even though she's always kind of like the star of the music video, it doesn't feel like it's like let's just film Taylor Swift lip-syncing her song.
Her playing a character each time,
Yeah, so.
Oh, and did you see, like, just today, she's #1 on Spotify now?
No, I did not.
Like, just today, she just surpassed The Weeknd.
So,
I don't know. If you need numbers,
there she is.
I tell ya.
I don't know. I wasn't disappointed, per se, with 1989 TV, because I like the music, and the songs that I like sound very similar.
I agree.
So, like, I'm not someone who listens to Style every day, so the new version of Style, I was kind of like, whatever, like, I'm okay. Out of the Woods, to me, sounded very similar.
Out of the Woods was very good. Out of the Woods, I think, was even, like, I would say it is better now.
I definitely like the production changes.
Yeah.
I like them a lot. And Out of the Woods is one of my favorite songs, period, not just on the album.
Oh, yeah.
So I was really nervous. I was like, please don't ruin my song. Because I'm not going to be one. Obviously, when one person listens to, like, a stolen version, it's not, like, Taylor's career could end today, and she would be fine.
Yeah.
But I also don't like the idea of listening to someone's work, aka like Scooter Braun, that I don't support, and then just because I like it slightly better.
Yeah.
Like, there's maybe 1 or 2 songs off the record that I listen to the stolen version.
Better Than Revenge.
Better Than Revenge. I listen to the original version of We Are Never Getting Back Together.
Okay, yeah.
So I get it, but at the same time, I don't want to be like, well, I don't care now, when I love the idea of the re-records and I love the idea of taking your music back. Yeah. So for me to not listen to the Taylor's version, I feel like it's kind of hypocritical.
Right. I don't think I've listened to a non-Taylor's version song on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But that aren't out yet. Like, I'm still listening to Reputation even though Taylor's version isn't out. Oh, have you seen all of the videos of people getting their Taylor Swift merch? And it's all like the blue stars with the black star. Yeah.
I'm excited. Obviously, it's next. It makes sense for it to be next.
Yeah.
So at this point in the re-records, I'm not really so much looking at the Easter eggs anymore, like the theories, because I'm like, obviously it's gonna be next. Like, because it doesn't make sense to do Taylor Swift second to last.
That would be weird. Yeah.
Like, first, that would make sense. Last makes the most sense. Somewhere in the middle, whatever. But, like, the second to last re-record, it makes no sense.
You're so close, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. So obviously, Reputation's gonna be next, which is my favorite of her albums. My favorite too. Favorite era, favorite aesthetic.
Yep.
Some of the music in there, some of my favorite pop music.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a big pop girl. So, and if not one of those songs is some form of, like, rock version,
I'm gonna be so disappointed.
I'm gonna be really angry about it.
Yeah.
Like, Look What You Made Me Do.
Yeah.
Rock.
Would be so amazing.
I know this is about 1989, but I just need to preface. I'm so excited for Reputation.
I'm so excited for Reputation. It's my favorite. It is genuinely my favorite of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's Reputation, then Evermore.
Evermore's
which is
great.
So different vibes, but I love them both.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. which is fun because I think there are a lot of albums that don't seem like they go together, but they do.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of people pair, like, Speak Now and Reputation, or they'll pair, like, Speak Now and Folklore. Like, I just love little things like that kind of link together that don't seem linked together at all. So Reputation and Evermore, it's almost like Evermore's Reputation after Reputation went to therapy.
You're right.
So
you're so right.
It's okay.
That's just true.
Yeah. Thanks. Our control room is giving us a time signal, threatening us even.
We've been talking for a while, apparently.
Yeah. Hey, I could talk about Taylor Swift for a minute.
I could too. There was a moment I thought that I was going to have to ramble for 20 minutes about Taylor Swift by myself.
Which, honestly,
I could do.
You could do it.
I could. If anybody could do it, it would be me.
If anyone on The Real Deal could talk about Taylor Swift alone for 20 minutes, I feel like it would be you.
Yeah. Literally, I mean, all of my segments are Taylor Swift related.
Mm-hmm.
All of my wardrobe is mainly Taylor Swift, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, that's my obsession. Drives my boyfriend crazy, but that's my obsession.
Hey, he'll get over it.
It's better than, like, cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is addicting in the weirdest way,
Yeah.
I think, for her fans, her non-fans. But here's the thing, even her non-fans talk about Taylor Swift, like, the way, like, earlier how you were like, this may be a hot take. I feel like I'm of the opinion that there are zero hot takes about Taylor Swift because she's
Everybody's
just
had the
so
thought, yeah.
well known. And, like, if you're not a fan, if you are a fan, if you're indifferent, if you don't even listen to music, like, you have probably had an opinion about Taylor Swift in your life. There's no way.
Which is the thing that drives me crazy because there are people who think that Travis Kelce is more well-known than Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. And that is just untrue.
Objectively, yeah. And like, you could argue that in the sports world or even in the football world, yeah, people probably know who he is. Mm-hmm. I am not a big football girl.
I mean, I'm not a football person. I didn't know who Travis Kelce was prior to Taylor Swift. But that being said, the NFL, strictly U.S. Mm-hmm. Taylor Swift is global.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just drives me crazy. I see all of these, like, TikToks of boyfriends arguing with their girlfriends about that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you're just...
It's objectively just wrong.
It's just a wrong fact.
Loudly and confidently, they're wrong about that. And I'd also say it's like another thing of, I don't quite want to use the word sexism with this, but like how people are like, well, it's Taylor's fault. It's like not her fault. She just showed up at a football game and the NFL took that and ran with it because they knew it would get traction and it did. So it's not a we love Taylor Swift move. It's not a we're obsessed with celebrity couples move. It's a PR move at that.
Yeah.
Like, it's for news, pop culture news. It's an up-and-coming thing. People are going to talk about it. As everyone is, even the people that don't like it, won't shut up about it. So it's like, it's not Taylor Swift.
The NFL numbers, specifically the Chiefs games, have gone up since they've started advertising that Taylor Swift might be here.
Yeah.
Because now we have all of the Swifties being like, I guess I'll put football on.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is, but it'll play in the background.
But I'll watch, which is kind of frustrating that, like, the people, sports fans, NFL people, whatever, are kind of downplaying that because it's like, I feel like it's just nice to, like, have new people. Yeah. Like, what's so bad about, even if someone doesn't know about football and they're watching it maybe because they might see Taylor Swift on screen, it's still like, if I were a big football fan, I'd be like, oh, something I'm passionate about, more people are joining the community, the football world. I don't know, but
do you think that football fans do I liked it before it was cool?
Oh, thing? Absolutely, 100%. So we know Avery's a regular on the podcast. Her and I are Bengals fans, and because I'm from Ohio, but I'm from Ohio, and so my family's a big Bengals family, and we like the Bengals, and I went to one of my other friends who is a big football fan. I was like, oh yeah, Avery and I are watching the Bengals game, and he's like, oh, you've been watching more football, and I'm like, yeah, a little bit, and he's like, oh, because of Taylor Swift. Like, they're immediately going to that. Like, you even look at a football, and they're like, well, because Taylor Swift, isn't it? Yeah. So, 100% they're doing that. Absolutely.
It's also just that the Swifties doing that as well. Like, they're like, oh, well, I like 1989 before Taylor's version.
I knew Taylor Swift when Debut came out. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
It's always that thing in the music world, which I hate because music is one of my favorite art forms.
Me too.
Of all time. Like, And it happens everywhere in music, like even academic music, like the whole like, oh well, I was in marching band before you, or like I marched DCI, like all that stuff. From that to Taylor Swift to underground artists that people have never heard of before, and holding that close and being like, well, I knew them before they got popular. Like that shouldn't be a brag. You should be happy that
they're doing better. They're growing as an artist. They're changing a little bit, which is good. People need to change, even artists. And people are taking that for granted and saying that, like, well, I like them first, so they can't change. They need to be this exact same forever.
Yeah, it's really weird, and I think it's on top of that, people forgetting that artists and celebrities and whatever are like real people.
Yeah.
Like it just, and I get it. It doesn't really process in your brain. Like I couldn't sit and have a conversation with Taylor Swift. She's not real to me. But at the same time, I still know in the back of my head she's a real person and she's a growing and changing person. Her music that she made in her 30s, she's in her early 30s, is not going to be the same that she made when she's 19, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. I just think that people are allowed to change.
Yeah.
People are allowed to grow, get better, get worse. Growing isn't always positive, but it's still growth no matter what. Is that our time?
5 minutes.
Okay, cool. So 5 more minutes of Taylor Swift, which basically means, what do you note? Reputation's next.
Yeah.
Right? Then,
absolutely.
Then debut. And for TS11, are you a Karma truther?
I do think Karma was an album at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's gonna release it as is, because I feel like that album, I believe it was supposed to come in between 1989 and Reputation, around that time. Like, I feel like she's such a different person.
Yeah.
That I don't think her putting out that album now, or not now, but just in the near future, makes a whole lot of sense. I have seen a lot of those things about the black and white imagery coming up, and there possibly being a double album, or...
Stephen Colbert, the guy that she announced Fearless TV with, has been hinting towards Taylor Swift being on his show tonight.
Oh, okay.
Like, he's been hinting about that a lot.
This could be an announcement.
So there could be an announcement coming soon. I also was I thought there was going to be a double album for sure. I still think there's going to be a surprise album drop.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be she announces it soon, and then it'll be, like, out a week later or something like that.
Okay. Interesting.
Because that's kind of what she did for Folklore.
Yeah.
/ Evermore. So, the sister albums.
Yeah.
But also, when all of the Taylor's version is all said and done, we're going to have to go back to only getting an album every 2 years.
Yeah. Or there's been the theory, which I don't think this is true because Taylor Swift is a capitalist queen, but the theory that she's going to release all the albums, finish the tour, and then retire. And that has been kind of like a theory spinning around since she first started the Eras Tour.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad theory because, again, she's in her 30s. And she's a lover girl. She wants to, like, settle down and
She
have
wants
to
have a family, yeah.
So I could see that happening, but, like, I don't want it to.
What I'm thinking is it'll be, like, a soft retirement, and then eventually if she retired at all, it would be soft, and she would then come back, would be like, so, well, I was away, here's 10 more albums.
Right. Because, like, inherently that's just what she does, like, even when she's, like, in hiding. Or not out. She's just always writing stuff down.
Yeah, that's how she, like, just copes with it being a person.
Yeah.
Her form of therapy is writing songs.
Yeah.
Which is totally valid and awesome, and I'm excited for everything that she does. And I am excited for, like, new songs that aren't Volt songs, like new songs that are current, like, written like now in present time.
Absolutely, I agree. And I agree because I'm, first of all, bad at listening to albums, but, like, a lot of times when the re-record comes out, the album is the album.
Yeah.
So, like, even the Speak Now Vault tracks, I have not really given much of them a re-listen, because once I got to the end of the album, I'm like, okay, that's Speak Now, and I replaced all my songs in my playlist, and then I was done with it.
Yeah.
So I do want there to be, like, a new album.
Yeah.
Because the Vault tracks just don't, obviously they're new, but they don't always feel new, because they're kind of just pushed to the bottom.
Like, clearly it was written in 2015, or, like, whatever.
Yeah.
We just had Midnights. we just had Midnights, but Midnights was also written about experiences from the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would love an album being like, this is what 2023 is for me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I don't know if he was giving me a note or not. I can't tell. Oh well.
We'll just talk until
We'll just talk until they yell
at
us.
Yeah.
I'm sure you briefly mentioned this. On your Okay, couldn't tell. Sorry. There's a big camera in my face. You're told to wrap it up.
That was it. That was us talking about Taylor Swift, 1989, Travis Kelce, everything and everything that has to. There's a dog walking by. Sorry.
It's
yeah, that was us. Thanks for listening to the
that.
podcast. Bye.
Bye.